Is Star Wars Visions going to be good? That question's been on my mind since the very beginning of when it got announced. This is something new to Star Wars fans, and as we all know, Star Wars fans hate new. When something comes out, it's always on thin ice with Star Wars fans. Just one little oopsie and the whole thing gets tainted. We saw that with Bad Batch episode 13, where previous to that, everyone would rate the series like 8 to 7 out of 10. As soon as that happened, it went down to like a 6. The problem is that since it's 8 studios working on separate episodes that are not combined, the problem lies that each episode is going to be so different. One bad apple will spoil the entire thing, especially since they are only going to get one episode to tell this entire story. So I'm scared that the episode is not going to get enough time to tell its entire story or it getting fleshed out. And people are going to be turned off by the idea of, the story isn't completely developed. By the end or like midway through, they might just turn off the thing altogether. As well, not a lot of Star Wars fans have been introduced to the anime formula. So there are going to be some concepts that they're not really into. Or, stylization of it. I know when Resistance came out, people wasn't really a fan of that style. And they called it too cartoonish. And personally, I wasn't a big fan of the style until you get to some of the flying scenes, and then it gets better. But, anime is a whole different world, and each studio is going to be so different. Each art style is going to be so different. How are fans going to react to that? While I'm perfectly okay with, the idea of not being introduced to multiple anime concepts, not all Star Wars fans have open ideas or patient and willing to give things the benefit of the doubt. That's not a common thing in Star Wars, and once, you see a little bit of it, you write the entire thing off. They don't really realize, hey, maybe we don't know too much about anime, so there's going to be some things that I don't expect, and I should be willing to change in how I interpret Star Wars, since this is going to be an entire different medium. This is anime. This isn't a TV show or a movie. This is anime. This is different. But it already might be too late, since the first thing that came out of people's mouths when this came out is this canon? Not the greatest mindset to come into something that might be admittedly wacky of a concept to some of us. Also, the problem lies is that it's going to all be released in one day. So one episode that might be, just a little bit half-baked, you might skip it without giving it its chance to, time in the sun, mull over it, which we have to do a lot of times. I'm not sure how long these episodes are, but if they're going to be like 50 minutes and halfway through, I don't know, it's a bit of an eyesore to look at because like everything's black and white and you might not be in love with it. You might turn it off or go to the next one, the one that sounds more appealing to you, which could be a concern. Humans are very overwhelmed by choice. So, each episode, let's say it's an hour long, that's 8 hours. That can be really daunting, and you might be like, I could skip this episode and go to the next one. My last fear is this Tatooine episode is rock and roll related. I'm scared that this might taint the way of people feel about Boba Fett or Jabba the Hutt and really turn them off. Especially since it's going to be a different interpretation of Boba Fett and Jabba the Hutt and all these Tatooine characters. Maybe the fear is that, Boba Fett, he's so strange in this. I don't really like that. And that might ruin, like, how people interpret this character. Maybe Boba Fett can be a little bit goofy like he is in the Robot Chicken specials, but I feel like that could have turned people off in this day and age to Boba Fett. Even the Star Wars Detours, I feel like that's a bit of the reason why they won't ever release Star Wars Detours, is because people's interpretations and characters are so fragile at this point. I like that in the other episodes, it really has nothing to do with existing Star Wars material, so it can just go entirely as far as possible, like lightsabers, umbrellas, and whatever. That is more, outside the realm than, Boba Fett. In anime form. I still haven't watched the episodes. I'm not trying to, judge it before it even happens. I just, been in the Star Wars fandom enough to see how trends would usually go. So overall, I am cautiously optimistic about Visions. I'm not really about the episodes, though. I really trust the studios. And they make some of the best animes, like Studio Trigger. I have heard nothing but amazing things. And I really hope that this really opens my eyes to, getting introduced to more animes. I'm more worried about the fans' reaction to to this, because this is the freshest idea Star Wars has had since, I guess, going to a TV show formula, especially like the Clone Wars. That was like such a crazy thing back then. And that was only a decade ago. Now this is something completely new, anime and Star Wars. And like I mentioned, Star Wars fans have a history of hating something completely new. The only thing that fans have loved that from the jump was The Mandalorian, and what was new about that was it's taking basically live action characters and putting them in a real life manner. Seriously, I know they had the old Ewok TV shows, but those were a bit bad. I mean, it's literally almost everything that's came out fans have disliked. I mean, you can even say that about, the Clone Wars. Fans even hated Empire Strikes Back when it came out. So if you're a bit iffy on Visions, I would honestly say wait until like a few of the episodes ratings come out, so you know what are the best episodes to start with. Kind of like some people say with the Clone Wars, how they, throw out some of the Padme and Jar Jar episodes so you can get the streamlined full experience. But also when you're going into this, always keep an open mind. This is one of the few times we have the luxury of not really having to watch Star Wars in release order, so really take advantage of that. But I still highly encourage you to watch the episodes entirely through. I know I am, despite the fact if I like it or dislike it, I promise you they're going to shoot pretty well. Out of 8 chances, they're going to at least shoot 7 of 8 or 6 of 8. I mean, you can't really miss all 8 of these, I hope. Anyway, subscribe and do all that YouTube jargon and stuff, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.